Hello, church, and welcome. This is Keith Fair, pastor for Faith Formation and Discipleship at St. Matthew Lutheran Church in York, Pennsylvania. We are part of the Evangelical Lutheran Church in America, and this is the Preaching Points video for the upcoming fifth Sunday in Lent, March 21st, 2021. I will be reading for you today and discussing the 12th chapter of John, verses 20 through 33. Now among those who went up to worship at the festival were some Greeks. They came to Philip, who was from Bethsaida in Galilee, and said to him, "Sir, we wish to see Jesus." Philip went and told Andrew. Then Andrew and Philip went and told Jesus. Jesus answered them, "The hour has come for the Son of Man to be glorified. Truly I tell you, unless a grain of wheat falls into the earth and dies, it remains just a single grain. But if it dies, it bears much fruit. Those who love their life lose it, and those who hate their life in this world will keep it for eternal life. Whoever serves me must follow me, and where I am, there will my servant be also. Whoever serves me, the Father will honor. Now my soul is troubled. And what should I say? Father, save me from this hour? No, it is for this reason that I have come to this hour. Father, glorify your name." Then a voice came from heaven, "I have glorified it, and I will glorify it again." The crowd standing there heard it and said that it was thunder. Others said, "An angel has spoken to him." Jesus answered, "This voice has come for your sake, not for mine. Now is the judgment of this world. Now the ruler of this world will be driven out, and I, when I am lifted up from the earth, will draw all people to myself." He said this to indicate the kind of death he was to die. This is a beautiful story and a turning point in John's gospel. Just as the Jesus story is continuing to unfold, Jesus has entered Jerusalem in chapter 11 and is preparing to share the Last Supper at the Passover. This is the third Passover in John's narrative, where the synoptic Gospels, Matthew, Mark, and Luke, each only have one. He's going to share that Passover meal, which we will know as the Last Supper, with his disciples. He will wash their feet in chapter 13 before being betrayed and arrested and crucified. The turning point of Jesus's hour, as John calls it, has come, signaling the turning from the book of signs, which is sort of the first portion of John's narrative, the seven miracles that John records, which he refers to as signs, as well as various teachings and discourses. And we turn from that book of signs to the book of glory, which has more teachings and discourses, as well as Jesus' betrayal and arrest and trial and beating and crucifixion and death, and then his resurrection and his appearing to the disciples afterwards. I don't know about you, but personally, my experience of Christian worship and piety approach sort of thin places at the times of both Christmas Eve, Christmas Day, and again in Holy Week. I think that's partly due to the sort of the preparatory nature of Advent and Lent, the seasons that lead up to those two other seasons. And it's partly due this year to the pandemic. I mean, let's face it, we have been in Lent since February 26, 2020, which was Ash Wednesday last year. And living as I have in North America all of my life and being active in the church, it's easy for me to associate Christmas with winter and snow and the charm of that season, just as it's easy to associate Easter with springtime and blooming flowers and budding trees. And that nostalgia has its own effect on our experience of these church seasons, just as they do to the seasonal changes in the weather around us and the life of our planet, changes that many of us look forward to from year to year. But it's really in the simple beauty of Jesus' self-sacrifice and his willingness to embrace that sacrifice that's so profound in these readings. And the fact that he shares an invitation with us to do the same. There are four sentences that come one right after another in this passage. I'd like to read them to you again. Very truly, I tell you, unless a grain of wheat falls into the earth and dies, it remains just a single grain. But if it dies, it bears much fruit. Those who love their life lose it, and those who hate their life in this world will keep it for eternal life. Whoever serves me must follow me, and where I am, there my servant will be also. Whoever serves me, the Father will honor. So as I said, those four sentences are linked together one after the other, but each one stands on its own as a testimony to Jesus' death and resurrection, and to the call extended to each one of us to share Jesus' love and forgiveness with the entire world. That reference to the entire world may be what's behind the Greeks who have come to see Jesus today. As his hour has come and his public ministry is coming to a close as he moves towards the cross, it may be that these Gentiles represent the final culminating step of Jesus' message being taken outside the bounds of the people of Israel and out into the rest of the world. Because Jesus says, all people, I will draw all people to myself. Not just the righteous, not just the faithful, not even just the pure of heart. All people, the good, the bad, and the ugly. This chapter of John and really the whole book show us that, yes, what we do in this world matters, but only as a response to what Jesus is doing here this week. You know, as we are champing at the bit to see this pandemic come to an end, we are hopeful and excited for what people, ourselves included, have done to bring us this far, have done to survive and even continue to thrive thus far. And the things that we will do, again, when we are safely free to do so. But we must always be cognizant of what Jesus has done and is doing and has promised to do unto eternity. That is what we must bear witness to as people of faith, as we see Jesus at work in us and through us and in the world around us. Thanks be to God. That's our message for this week. I pray that I will see you again soon. And until then, be safe, be well, and God bless.